Good evening, my extended family. Good evening once again. It is Tuesday, June 23rd, 2020. I feel like I need a band behind me or a couple of chairs and some guests and maybe a sidekick to liven things up and laugh at my jokes. I don't know. Maybe a couple soap commercials would do. Anyway, here we go. I hope you all had a good night's sleep last night and that the day went well for you today. Thanks again for letting me spend a few minutes with you this evening. I hope you enjoy the show as much as I enjoy producing it. I appreciate every one of you. Every evening I like to start by reminding each and every one of you that you are simply wonderful. Right where you are, you're wonderful. Let all the children in your life, all the seniors, and while we're at it, everyone in our families, let them know that they're wonderful. Because I say people won't always remember what you said, but they will always remember how you made them feel. So for my part tonight, I want to make some people happy by wishing them a happy birthday. It's nice to be recognized on your special day, so here we go. Tracy Medling, happy birthday. I have to share with my listeners and my viewers that while I worked at the Baltic Post Office for a while, Tracy was the best supervisor anybody could have. I have a saying, assume no malice, and that was easy with Tracy, as I never saw any guile in her at all. Never did I think that she ever had anything but my best interest in mind, as her paperboy on steroids, delivering the mail through the village of Baltic while driving that postal truck. You know, as a paperboy on Jail Hill, 10 years old, I always thought it would be so cool to have one of those postal trucks, because they must be so good in the snow. So good in the snow. Boy, was I wrong. Tracy, you are wonderful. You're a blessed, prayerful woman, and the people around you are blessed just for knowing you. Happy birthday, Tracy. I do miss working with you. We had a lot of fun. Doris Yamaguchi Punch, happy belated birthday. June 20th. That was the first day of summer. Happy birthday. Doris is the wife of one of my close friends from the 60s on Jail Hill, Johnny Punch. Hello, Johnny. Hope you're enjoying the show. I can't wait until you guys come to town. I can't wait to see you. But until then, keep fishing with that pink 2-foot ice fishing pole. I want to see more stories as you guys are now contributors to the show. Happy birthday, Doris. Hope you're enjoying your day. All right, let's get ready to travel. Let's get ready to travel. Every night we travel to a different state, and tonight is no exception. So once again, I need you to put on your little kid imagination. Don't ever lose that little kid imagination. Tonight's show is coming from a state that was established in 1889. I've talked about Harrison Carrington living across the street from me when I was a kid. He was born in 1888. I always use that as a measuring stick when there's an old date like that. So 1889 doesn't seem that far away from me. This state is located in the Pacific Northwest region of the United States. You know where we are? This state produces more apples than any other state, even the city known as the Big Apple. In this state, you'll find Mount Rainier, Mount St. Helens, the volcano that last erupted on July 10th, 2008, just 96 miles south of Seattle. Remember that? I remember that. I remember as a little kid thinking that volcanoes went out with the dinosaurs. No volcanoes, no dinosaurs. You never have to worry about either one of them. You'll also find the Space Needle, which is one of Seattle's treasured icons, and 3 incredible national parks. Funny laws still on the books in some of the towns in the state. Whether or not they enforce them, I don't know, but they're still on the books. No connecting vending machines to a utility pole without prior permission from the utility company. I can't imagine asking the utility company if I can put a candy machine on their telephone pole. I can't imagine that. You can't go out in public if you have the common cold. Never mind COVID. If you just have the common cold, you're stuck in the house. No buying a mattress on Sunday, so if Saturday night you're not sleeping well, you're kind of caught out. You can't go get a new mattress the next day. No spitting on a bus. I don't even know why they need a law like that. Spitting on a bus doesn't make any sense. You can't buy meat on a Sunday, so if you're planning on a big meal for Sunday, you better buy the meat on Saturday or before. For some reason, they had to make it a law that you cannot paint polka dots on the American flag. I don't know why people of this state wanted to paint polka dots on the American flag, but there's now a law that says you can't do it. You cannot display a hypnotized person in a store window. That one cracked me up. Why would you hypnotize somebody and put them in a store window? I'm thinking maybe somebody walked by with bad vision and saw a mannequin in the window and thought it was a hypnotized person. I don't know. You cannot harass Bigfoot. That's a law in this state. You cannot harass Bigfoot. If there's a Bigfoot, I don't know why you'd want to harass him anyways. If I ever saw one or anything that looked close to him, I'd run the other way. In this state, you must use your turn signal while driving to change lanes or to make a turn. Well, that makes sense. The state flower is the Pacific rhododendron. The state insect is the common green Dorner dragonfly. That reminds me, when I was a kid, the dragonfly, we used to call them sewing needles because our older brothers used to tell us that if they hear you swearing, they would sew your lips up. And we were deathly afraid of those sewing needles, which we now know are dragonflies. The state fruit is, of course, the apple. The state bird is the American goldfinch. The state tree is the western hemlock. The state motto, although unofficial, is by and by, which reminds me of when I was a kid and I read The Adventures of Tom Sawyer and Huckleberry Finn, written by Mark Twain, who was born in Missouri in 1835. In 1871, Mark Twain moved to Connecticut, Hartford, Connecticut, to be closer to his publisher. Mark Twain was his nom de plume, which is his pen name. His real name was Samuel Langhorne Clemens. He wrote that he got his name Mark Twain from a riverboat captain he met, and Langhorne, just for the record, isn't just an odd middle name given to someone without thought. It's a topographic surname given to an individual who resides near a physical feature like a hill or a stream or a church. Well, I'm glad my parents weren't motivated by this because I was born on Jail Hill by St. Patrick's Cathedral and a stream not far away. Or maybe my name would have been Langhorne. There I go, being long in the tooth again. Anyway, back to this state's motto, which has evolved over the years to into the future. So the state's motto is into the future. The nickname of this state is the Evergreen State. The capital is Olympia, and this state is Washington. The character trait, as we know, for the month of June is integrity. I like saying that. It's the quality of being who you say you are and doing the right thing, especially when nobody's looking. An example would be making the right decision even if it's not the most popular decision. Fathers and mothers know about this because we have to make these decisions quite a bit with our kids all the time when they're younger. When they get older, kids make their own decisions, but when they're younger, we have to make these tough decisions for the kids. The kids aren't always happy with these decisions, but we make them with their best interest at heart because we love them the most. That's having integrity. Now, today is Public Service Day. I like that. It celebrates the value and virtue of serving your community. Serving your community. We should all be serving our community in one way or another. It feels good, and as Wilford Brimley used to say, it's the right thing to do. An example would be putting on some gloves and picking up any trash people throw out their car window in your neighborhood. I know a gentleman, Kerry Bilda. I hope you don't mind me saying that. I see him out all the time picking up the trash in his neighborhood that people throw out the windows. I know it drives him crazy, but he does it. That's a good thing. Picking up the trash and then throwing it in the garbage can. I read a story about a young man, 15 years old, who mowed the lawn of 50 senior citizens who were not able to mow their own lawns, and he did it for free. Now that's public service. Now, one more act of public service that I'm going to mention just for a second. I'm going to try to keep it really short. I just want to mention it quickly here. I'll be doing a show on this topic in the not-so-distant future. The topic is voting in elections. I'll be offering my thoughts on how to vote, not what to vote, not who to vote for. That's not my place. But I remember when I started in college many years ago, I observed that many professors were eager to teach what to think to our young, impressionable minds, not how to think. It was like an indoctrination of sorts, an invitation to rebel quite a bit against what the people who loved me first and loved me the most, my parents, taught me. But I also remember my favorite college professor answering a question that I posed to him. I asked him how he felt about a certain subject back in the 70s. And he answered with this: what's more important here, Paul, is what you believe and how you feel about it, not me. And more importantly, how you will form your opinion and make decisions on things throughout your life. I liked that, and I've hung on to that to this day, and I use that as my method of teaching as well. You see, when you make an informed decision, not an emotional one, you have true ownership over that decision and all the consequences that come from it. It's yours. And we better believe that elections have consequences. They do. But as I said, that's for another show, not for tonight. So on to this day in history. On this day in history, 1989, and according to me, not too long ago, the movie Batman opened in theaters with Michael Keaton and Jack Nicholson. I remember who I went to see that movie with. In 1931, Willie Post and his navigator Harold Gatty took off for a round-the-world flight in a single-engine plane named the Winnie Mae. The trip took 8 days, 15 hours, and 51 minutes. Today, June 23rd, is Memorial Day in Okinawa. In 1868, the patent for the typewriter was issued. A lot of us used typewriters when we were younger. In 1968, the term Middle America was first used. That's kind of boring. The word of the day, decision. Again, we all know what this word means, but the question is, how well do we educate ourselves on the subject that we have to decide on? Webster defines this word as a conclusion or resolution reached after consideration. The key phrase being after consideration. If it's a thoughtful decision, like I said, you own it, and all the consequences, good or bad, that come from it. So let's all commit to making thoughtful decisions. Anyway, that's the show for tonight. If you're looking for me, I'll be found with my cigar sitting quietly at the top of Mount St. Helen, avoiding any actions that may offend the Bigfoot. So until we meet again, let us all have a blessed, peaceful night, and let's be kind to one another. Again, and as always, you are truly quite special. The world wouldn't be the same without you, so don't even think of leaving. The world, and especially the people right around you, need you, and that's a good thing. So good night, and may God bless.